will give at least 2 persons that opportunity. When she was presenting, and I'm talking about our dear sister Buki Ajala, the perfect teacher, transforming teacher, and dramatic teacher. When she was presenting, we were honored to have the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Environment of this great state, the power state, Niger State. I'm talking about Honorable Mohammed San Idris. Please clap. Clap again. We're going to give him okay. Now, the mistake you had was not for my fault. I have just been told that I have been guided wrongly. So please, Commissioner of Environment, he is not. Don't clap for that. I am told he's a commissioner. Are the 2 of them? Okay. Now, I will try not to be more confused. So now here, every other thing I said, some of them are correct, some are not. So delete them all. Have you deleted them? Yes. Delete. Have you deleted? Okay, you said you have deleted. So now, let me give you the correct information. I want to welcome Honorable Commissioner for Environment of Niger State, the power state. His name is Honorable Barrister Mohammed Tanko Zakari. Another one. I am also told that in this same room, I hope I'm correct, we also have the honor of having the presence of the Honorable Commissioner for Information of Niger State, the power state. And this time, it is Honorable Mohammed Sani Idris. Honorable Commissioner, sir, please find it in your heart to forgive me. We have been told about the importance of forgiveness. Please, of this great state, the power state, on that side. We also have, indeed, 2 assistant controller generals. I'm telling you, in this same room, I hope all of them are still sitting there. We have the money, and I mean it, and I'm telling you, this is true. Even since yesterday, we have in our presence the assistant controller general in charge, actually from the training directorate, from the national headquarters of Nigerian Correctional Service, Mr. Lawa A. Gozwa. Yeah, there are many people that will forgive me, don't worry. But also, we have in our midst Assistant Controller General from the Welfare and Health Directorate of the Nigerian Correctional Service National Headquarters, Mr. Odaro. Does he need to forgive me? I haven't finished that. We also have someone who is from, again, the Training Directorate of National Headquarters of Nigerian Correctional Service. This time is the Controller of Corrections, Y.A. Sambo, MDC. He's also here. So please, if you are angry because of the way I called your name, please forgive me. I am in the mood of asking for forgiveness. So please, we will need to have a microphone to the Honorable Commissioners who will address us. And thank you very much for being here present. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. You are forgiven already. The entire topic centers on forgiveness, and I think you are already forgiven. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to all of you. Mr. Assistant Controller General, members of the High Table, a very good afternoon to all of you. Let me bring you good tidings from the good people of Niger State. And on behalf of my boss, the Executive Governor of Niger State, I'm here in my capacity as the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, Niger State, as a lawyer and a very good friend of the prisons. I've been in practice before becoming a commissioner, so I'm familiar with the workings of the prisons, with the workings of the court, and the workings of the inmates. I honestly have to sincerely apologize for a bit coming late. We had a series of meetings. We were supposed to be here with the Attorney General of the state, but we had to let him stay in that meeting for us to rush here, spend some few minutes, and also join them at the other meeting ongoing. We were everybody supposed to be here yesterday, but we were reliably informed that we should skip yesterday for today, probably because the organizers of this forum want us to enjoy the good presentation of the facilitator of this program. Let me, as a matter of fact, congratulate the organizers of this program. I was made to understand this is for North Central, and I also made to understand that this similar occasion is ongoing in other parts of the country. I believe and pray that at the end of this program, we should take along with us all the teachings we have acquired or we've learned from this program. In fact, as at the time I came into this hall, up to the time I took my seat, and until the last speaker or the facilitator took her own seat, I made bold to say that the facilitator is really in charge of our topic. I've learned a lot from our presentation, and I want to very sincerely thank her for that presentation. We are all guilty of the same offense on both sides of stakeholders that constitute the prison's activity. From the lawyers to the court to the police, all of us are guilty of the same offense. And I like it when she said all of us have at one point in time or the other committed one form of offense or the other that will have equally taken us to the inmates, to the prisons. But for all those reasons, we are lucky to jump the gun. That's not a fact. Most people who see prisons are not necessarily offenders. Some of them are not actually criminals. The state of the magistrate at the time an issue is presented before you, determine whether he sends somebody to prison, whether he has committed an offense or not. If you are the smart type and you run to the police force, the police always treat you as the right person. The other person already looked at as an offender, whether he's an offender or not. By the time he's in prison and he gets services of lawyers, issues are also thrown before the court. You also realize that the criminal or the supposed offender is not actually the offender. So we are not going to the same offense, but I pray that sensitization and forum like this will open our eyes so that we all look at each other as partners in this very important sector. And like she said, some of the offenders, after even serving their terms, after continuing before even getting to prison, and after the time they come back, they continue to do very good things and add value to society. So, as a matter of fact, I don't intend to take so much time. I want to congratulate you for this very wonderful occasion. I pray that God Almighty will bless each and every one of us that is here. And like I said, I pray that at the end of this exercise, all of us will have one thing to take back home, especially on this issue of forgiveness. We are all guilty of this. We need to develop that culture of forgiveness. If we can do that, I can assure you that this one will be a good place for all of us. Thank you very much, Assistant Controller, and thank you very much, the fellowship for organizing this wonderful exercise. And I pray that it should be an ongoing exercise. It should not just be something of today and we will not think of it of so many years to come. Let it be an ongoing thing so that all of us continue to add value. And I pray that in one of these sessions, you will invite us. I don't want you to look at this as if it's just fellowship of the Christian. Invite some of our Muslim brothers to appear before this and also give keynote addresses, give lectures, so that all of us will interface and learn from each other. I don't look at this as only a fellowship issue. It's for each and every one of us, especially those of us that have stake in the administration of justice. Thank you very much.
I want to do it now. Honorable Commissioner, at the extreme left to you is a gentleman. His name is Benson. He's also a lawyer. Barrister Benson, well, he is the Executive Director of Prison Fellowship Nigeria. That's him. He's indeed someone that you should know. But let me also say, a comprehensive approach that looks at the psychological dimension, the physical dimension, the spiritual dimension, and all that. So again, I believe there is a lot that can be done in the line with the comments that you have made. Please, I would encourage you all to appreciate the Honorable Commissioner for Environment, who has spoken to us. And now the one, now the last one. Okay.
1 minute. And it goes across the 19 correctional centers. We thank God for that. But I want to know about how these 19 correctional centers, based on their spreading, is it only the southwest or the northern side, also the southern part? Then you didn't tell us about the challenges that the STB has in your programs.
Okay, thank you.
I must apologize. I should have asked for a breakdown of the figure of that 2044. But I also know from my own little bits that I've spent with Prison Fellowship of Nigeria that quite a lot of this STP is run south, a little bit in the middle belt, you understand? And I think from the north, I'm not too sure of how many correctional facilities were there. But I decide, I apologize, I should have asked for a breakdown. But we can always, if we will be working with a research team or training team or something, so we can actually make those figures available for you. But I think the most important thing for me is that how do we move this 2,000 to 10,000? How do we move it? How do we move it? I think that is what would do me a good ice cream. You know, after you've eaten lunch, they have ice cream. Then you also talked about the challenges that STP. I hope I'm going to answer you the way you want, so that I'm not answering from another perspective. But if I hear you well, that is, what are the challenges that we face when we are running STP in the correctional facility? Is that it? Okay, fine. One of the challenges we face, and I'll tell you how we're able to resolve it, is the fact that, you know, the books that we use, they're in English. They're in English. So we have to get someone that would translate, not translate, facilitate for those who do not know how to read and write English. And then there are some that can hear, but they cannot write. So what we tell them is that they have friends. I mean, those that are in their circle. You know, we tell them, if you have this challenge, meet somebody, you know, so tell the person, you know, because they have an assignment every session. So tell the person your answer and let that person write it the way you have said. The person should not doctor it. Write it the way you have said. So when we go through their worksheet, we have an idea of what they are saying. So we have people that talk through Yoruba and Igbo and Hausa. And one of the other challenges we face is that at times you might have more circles. You can have many circles, but in a circle the inmates should maximum 10. You understand? So at times, if we have large gatherings. So what we do is that those peace ambassadors that have gone through the course, we pick some and we train them. So they are now what we call the inmate facilitators. So aside from everybody being a peace ambassador, we now pick some that have excelled well, you know, that can translate it because they are now leaders. We tell them they are now leaders. And then we tell them that they also have to hone their leadership skills. So they will now become supporters when they are facilitating. One of the challenges that we face when we go to Kirikiri, I don't know how many of you know that place. Error. I believe it. I remember one occasion. We were built to be there for 10. We didn't get there until 2. There are times, I fly Okada. I fly. When we get to a point that I think we stand still, which one concern me? Should I don't know? If I tell you my age, someone will say, I'm over 50. I'm over 55. Climb. I climb Okada. Because we've got to be, there's a walk there. So we need to climb. So those are the challenges.
And his name is lovely on. He is Controller of Correction. Please clap and welcome. Controller, sir, will you find it in your heart, following the precedents that have been just set, to forgive me? Please forgive me.
It is accepted.
Thank you very much. Please clap him. He's forgiving me for not having recognized it, but you know, he's also wearing something that makes it very difficult for people who are not as smart like I am not to make mistakes. Thank you for forgiving me, sir. It's not okay. The network is not working, therefore it is not our fault. I want to move to the next session. Yes. Sir? Question. Now, after I was looking for it, this one, you will write it in the paper. Is it a very serious question? Very, very serious. It's not serious, you pay me. When I give you microphone, pay me. Because I wanted to take all the questions beforehand, and we really need to, we are running, time is also our first sense for us. Please, just quickly.
Sorry, I'm not taking you back. I'm CSU Zebu Felix from Medium Security Custodial Center, Kujin, in charge of welfare. When I was listening to the Rwanda experience, the beautiful one, I think we want to copy from them or to add to what we have. Now, the PFN, for instance, they were discussing, I was listening to that. It's like I'm concentrating only on those who are there. But what about the go at night? The Rwanda experience talked about restorative village.
Okay.
Our own is maybe halfway home. But nobody is talking about that. Because if we stop inside, you just give a certificate, it goes, how do you monitor them? Then it should be a halfway home. Like if there is going to be a halfway home,
I think there was a question somebody asked that is similar in terms of the custodial and non-custodial. So perhaps as we are thinking about the program, we need to be thinking about what is the role for custodial officers, what is the role for non-custodial officers. Now I want to quickly move on to call someone of Nigeria, Barrister Benson Ngozi Iweal. 1, 2, go. Okay, that is only for you. Not the other part. Okay, let's listen to him, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, distinguished officers, the Assistant Controller General, representing variably the Controller General and the distinguished men and women in this hour who have the divine and social responsibility of redeeming and rescuing our fellow pilgrims who have been affected by the bulk of crime. I want to appreciate and commend you for the decorum we have seen, the cooperation. For these past 2 days, we are indeed very delighted. Before I talk about restorative justice and Section 43 of the Nigerian Correctional Service Act, even connecting with the question that the last gentleman talked about, nothing happens by itself. There is no effect without a cause. Do we agree? Yes. It's clearly settled. So we are going to together design and agree on how do we go forward from here. But before I forget, this program is a collaboration between Nigeria Prison Fellowship Nigeria, the Nigerian Correctional Service, and Prison Fellowship International. And you did hear the president of Prison Fellowship International, Mr. A, or ASM movement is in 116 countries. And that really tells you something. It's experience sharing that has brought these benefits to us. So yesterday after the program, they sent a survey which overnight was sent into your mails. How many of you received a survey link in your mail, your email, not your WhatsApp? No. Mike, you sent out those mails. I think it's just about 10 questions. We would very, very humbly plead with you to please very quickly check your mails, because I actually wanted to do that in first this morning, but my sister said, let's look for a convenient point. Because it's important we give others the benefit of what we have learned, what we also think has not been correctly said, so that it will help to develop and build the body of knowledge. Do you think it's something we should do? Do you think we should avail other jurisdictions of our knowledge, of our recollections of the things that we have done? Do you think so? Yes. I think it's distinguished, it's very important. So please, I please International had a conference in Toronto in Canada, and I had the privilege of attending a restorative justice course at the Queen's University there. So God was working two ways to connect. We wanted how we can diffuse the pressures in our correctional system and in our court system. So after that, that was in June, and we came back in October. We had our conference at the airport hotel. The hall was jammed, people from the judiciary, police, and because we wanted a restorative justice, by the way, is very, very flexible. You can do a lot of things today. Like you have, it can operate as a court system, it can operate as an appendage, it can also stand as an independent system of adjudication. So, but what we were looking for was a way to divert. And so, we reached out to the Minister of Justice. I'm just giving you the background. We reached out to this Minister of Justice in Lagos State, because that's where we are headquartered for now, and said, this is what we want to do. This is our objective. The Commissioner of Justice then said, these accords with our social policy direction. And because we do not want a system that is built around an individual. I'm executive director today, another person will be there tomorrow. So we told the commissioner, sir, can we reduce this thing into a memorandum of understanding? He said, please, let's go. From there, we went to the State Criminal Justice Sector Committee. The Commissioner of Police, the Controller of Corrections, 10 prisons, the Attorney General, the Chief Judge also there, and we made our presentation. Initially, we had Prison Fellowship think tank, we had some academia, we had a project advisor. Arising from that presentation to that committee, because we needed something that they need to own. So they sent nominees from the Nigerian prisons, then now corrections, the judiciary, Ministry of Justice and Police. So with this, the Lagos State Restorative Justice Steering Committee was constituted and formed. And by the grace and mercy of God, I coordinate that committee, and our purpose was to infuse a complementary system of criminal adjudication that will reduce the pressure on our courts and other prisons. So that not every matter, not every charge, not every complaint should go through criminal adjudication. So I've given you that background so that you can see. And we have developed a whole protocol. Aside from the Act, we have a protocol that states the processes through referral system of mediation, facilitation, and all that has been clearly stated. There's a difference between outcome, it's different from the process. For us, I belong to the school of thought that defines restorative justice by its processes, not necessarily its outcome. And that is evident when I say it is inclusive of all those who have a stake in the crime that has been committed. The offender himself, the direct victim, the society that has been made unsafe and seemingly unattractive for socio-cultural, economic investments and all that. So for me, it is best defined by its processes. So we have talked about this being a theory of justice that aims to repair the harm.
Another one. Another one. So I will not pretend, but I sat down here. So I've also listened very intently to what he has said. So I'm going to, and plus, I must also comment him. He told us he would finish before 1, and indeed he did. This is exactly 12:59 by my own time. So let's clap for him again. See dysfunction and corrections. Onesimus Project Perspective. And this will be delivered by Professor Abiodun Adebayo, who is the Vice Chancellor, Covenant University, Otta. He is already on virtually, and I think you will join me to appreciate him. And we are appreciating him because he is one of the models that we should be looking up to. Seeing the strong connection between academic institution and ensuring that the community work and perspective is done. The Covenant University Otta. But what I did not tell you, which I will tell you now, is that the Vice Chancellor is going to be ably represented by Professor Gesinde. Please join me to welcome Professor Gesinde, who will be speaking on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Covenant University. Let's welcome him. Prof, the mic is open for you, and we are all listening attentively. You can continue now, Prof. Prof, are you hearing us? This from the others, because I think they will first take those coming from the stations, from the FCT command and Niger states, and thereafter we'll follow through. So please, as you receive, they still feel like clapping. So I will need the names to be mentioned so that as you hear your name, I think you should come a little bit in front. If you will do us the honor of handing over the certificates.
What we do is we want to give the certificate and the stipend together. And whilst we do this, let me say that there is no amount of stipend or whatever we can give that will be worth the investments in time and energy that we've made. It's a token of goodwill and of the partnership we formed. So like I say, it's not the size, but the spirit. But what we've taken time to do is we had a graduated system. So those who came all the way from Sokoto or other distances will have a little more than those who are within town. it may not have been necessary to explain this, but just because we are human. So we'll start with FCT. Yes. So as I call, if you hear, let me quickly call our distinguished ACT will do the presentation.
Listen, please. We are starting with the